I made the most amazing Italian urban cheese sub roll to go with our lunch tomorrow. You can't even believe how good this smells. Let me tell you how I did it. I'm making a copycat of the Italian herb and cheese sub rolls. We're gonna do sub sandwiches for lunch tomorrow, so today I'm gonna make the rolls. So in my bowl, I have 3/4 of a cup of warm milk, and to that I'm going to add about a tablespoon of honey. Seems about right. It's fine. And 3/4 of a tablespoon of yeast. Also gonna be fine. This is a half tablespoon measure, so that's probably about right. I'm gonna whisk this up and let it sit on my counter and get all frothy so I know the yeast is activated, and then we'll put these together. Okay, my yeast mixture is all frothy, so I'm gonna mix everything in the bowl with my stand mixer. So that goes in. I'm gonna add in 1 egg. About a tablespoon of olive oil. I intend to measure that the same way I measured the honey. Seems good to me. A teaspoon of salt. Are you impressed? I actually measured that. It wasn't accurate, but it was measured with a measuring spoon. Half cup of water. And then I'm going to whisk all this together and then add the flour. So my recipe calls for 3 cups of flour. You can use all-purpose, you could use bread flour, you could use wheat flour, whatever makes you happy. I'm using wheat flour. You could use whatever kind of flour you want. I wouldn't use self-rising because we've got a leavening agent already. So I'm gonna add most of this and let my stand mixer do the work from here. You may need a little bit more or a little bit less depending on your hydration. So start low, add more as you need it. So I'm gonna put this on the stand mixer and let it do the hard work. Okay, I ended up using all 3 cups, but I didn't add any more than that. And this is just a super soft dough. It's very silky smooth. It's easy for me to stretch and work. So I'm just going to form it into a ball. I'm gonna spray my bowl with olive oil and let it rise for about an hour. Okay, my dough has been rising for about an hour and it has doubled in size. So now I'm just going to form the rolls. You can cut this into however many you think is appropriate for the size you want them to be. I would say 5 would make large rolls. I'll probably do 6 just because of the number of people that we're feeding. But make them however big or small you want them to be. Okay, so once you cut them, just kind of roll it in on itself so you can tighten that dough up, and then just roll it on the counter into a sub roll. So I'm just going to put them on my pan. So again, just kind of tuck it over in on itself and then roll it. Okay, so here they are. I think we all know me well enough by now to know that I did not measure them and they are not all the same size, but they will be delicious. So I'm going to cover them and let them rise again for probably about 30 to 45 minutes. I just want them to get nice and puffy. Okay, so I let them rise for 45 minutes. I'm gonna brush them with an egg wash. I've just scrambled up an egg and I'm gonna brush it over them. Okay, and then this is the Italian urban cheese part. So I have maybe 1/3 of a cup of grated Parmesan in here, and I'm going to use my homemade Italian seasoning blend. Maybe. Use whatever Italian seasoning blend you have on hand or whatever herbs that you like. And then I'm just going to use my hand and make sure that's really mixed up good. Kind of mash it together a little bit. So it'll look like that. And then I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top of each one. And I'm gonna put a hefty coating on them because I want it to be an Italian herb. I don't want it to just maybe think about being, oven's ready, an Italian herb and cheese. I want you to know it is Italian herb and cheese. So I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees. It is ready and waiting for me. I'm gonna go ahead and use the rest of this. No need to leave it behind. I'll tell you how long I bake them as soon as they're done. Here they are. Here they are. I baked them for 20 minutes at 350 degrees. Don't they look delicious? I can't wait to dive into them for lunch tomorrow. Y'all have a great day.